All right, the fourth problem in our word problem practice, also the last one that you have to know. Hopefully you saw the announcement either on Remind 101 or on the class website saying that you only need to do 1 through 4 and 5 and 6 are optional and worth extra credit. So with 4, we've got Roger and Trevor. They go shopping for produce on the same day. They each bought some apples and some potatoes, and the amount they bought and the total price they paid are listed in the table below. So we have Roger, who bought 8 apples and 7 potatoes. And paid $18.85. And Trevor bought, these are 2 pounds of, 2 pounds of apples, 10 pounds of potatoes, and spent $12.88. So we can write these out as equations. It wants us to find what was the price of apples and potatoes per pound. So let's define our variables. Let's make X the pounds of the price per pounds of apples. And then we'll make Y the price per pound of potatoes. So looking at what Roger spent, he bought 8 pounds of apples, so 8 times the price per pound, so 8x, plus he bought 7 pounds of potatoes, so 7 times the price per pound, so 7y, and in total he spent $18.85. Trevor did 2 pounds of apples plus 10 pounds of potatoes and spent $12.88. So now we have 2 equations and we can solve them by substitution or elimination. And since we've done substitution for problems 1 and 2, let's do elimination for this one. I also think that elimination is probably a little bit easier for this one. So let's scroll down for some room. We want to be able to eliminate a variable, and just by looking at it, it looks like x would be the easier one to eliminate because we can easily multiply the 2 in front of the x to make it -8 so that they'll cancel out when we add them. So to get from 2 to -8, we would need to multiply by -4. And we can't just multiply the x, we have to multiply the entire equation. So we would rewrite that over here as -8x minus 40y is equal to 12.88 times -4 is -51.52. And then we are just going to copy our first equation down because we did not change it in any way. So now when we add these, we can use elimination because if we add 8x plus -8x, it's going to give us 0x. So we've eliminated the x variable. And for 7y plus -40y, that's going to be -33y is equal to 18.85 plus -51.52 is going to give us -32.67. And our last step to solve for y would be to divide both sides by -33. And we get y is equal to 0.99. So that makes sense, 99 cents per pound. That sounds somewhat reasonable. So we know the price per pound of, since that was y, we know for potatoes is 99 cents per pound. Now for apples, we're going to have to figure out x. which we can do by now. We know what y equals. We can substitute or plug in 0.99 for y into any of our equations up here, either one of the two original ones or even the one that we derived when we multiplied it by -4. So let's use this equation here, the 2x plus 10y equals 12.88. And we're going to plug in what we know, which is y. So we have 2x, because we still don't know what x is, plus 10 times y, which is 0.99, is equal to 12.88. So let's simplify this. 2x plus, this is going to be plus 9.9, is equal to 12.88. Let's extend that page. All right, so we've got 2x plus 9.9 equals 12.88. So we're going to subtract 9.9 from both sides, and we get 2x is equal to 298. So now we're going to get x all by itself by dividing by 2 on both sides. We get x is equal to 1.49, or $1.49 per pound, which also seems somewhat reasonable. So we can fill that in here. Apples are $1.49 per pound. And that's the answer to number 4.